Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So in yesterday's video, we did the 2025-2026 gubernatorial prediction for the governor's races that are going to be coming up, the two later this year and then the midterms. And in today's video, we're going to be doing our updated House prediction for the 2026 midterms because Republicans, they currently hold a narrow majority. But will they be able to keep it? Will the Democrats retake it? Can the Republicans expand upon their majority? I think it's important to go seat by seat and fill it out because you'll have a lot of misconceptions about, Trump is in office, so it's going to be a guaranteed blue wave year and Democrats are going to gain 40-some seats again, just like they did in 2018. And the math is not there. The map is not there. They kind of go together. And in this video, we're going to fill it out, and I'll show you guys why. Doesn't mean that Republicans are going to keep the House, but at the end of the day, the Democrats being able to sweep and have this massive wave and have like a historic midterm, it's just not on the table. So we'll start off here. Alabama, we'll go state by state. There's one district here that probably will go Democrat by 5 to 10 points. The second district, so we'll put that one in the likely column. The state of Alaska will probably stay with Nick Bajich there, and in the state of Arizona, David Schweikert's seat probably, I believe, is going to stay Republican, especially because he outran the top of the ticket. He somehow does well, and he did face a relatively strong challenger last time around. And Arizona, by registration data, keeps moving to the right. Eli Crane should win no problem. Siscomani, in my opinion, is going to hold on. Greg Stanton will win by almost 10% as well. So we have a lot of the districts pre-filled out here, the ones that probably aren't worth mentioning at all. Nothing in Arkansas. California, we have a few seats here. Kevin Kiley's district, this one probably stays in Republican hands. Josh Harder also probably holds on for the Democrats. The 13th district is going to be really competitive, and it's definitely possible that Republicans could pick it off just because of the fact that this is one of those districts where having a higher propensity electorate helps Republicans, despite the fact that they've become the lower propensity party, hence why they won it in 22 but lost it in 24. Still, I think Democrats probably narrowly hold on to it, but it is flippable. The 21st district stays in Democrat hands. Republicans hold the 22nd. The 25th district could flip in the future. It is more ancestrally Democrat down ballot. I think it will stay in Democrat hands. The 27th will as well. Young Kim should have no problem winning. Ken Calvert, he also should have no problem winning. Derek Tran, this is another one of those districts Republicans won in 22 but lost in 24. I think it's going to be close, but I think that you could make the case that the Democrats are going to hold on because Derek Tran is a strong candidate for them. Dave Min should win, and Mike Levin should also win. I think we covered all bases in the state of California. So without further ado, let's go on to Colorado. And here we go. So the 3rd district, I think Jeff Hurd will have no problem winning. Jeff Crank should have no problem winning as well by 5 to 10 points at a minimum. I think the 8th district, you could make the case, yes, it will flip into Democrat hands. Gabe Evans is a strong candidate, but still, it's a razor-thin state. If the national environment moves a little bit, that could not be very good for Republicans there. But the 4th district, Lauren Boebert, she should hold on. Democrats will spend a lot of money trying to unseat her, but she should win by over 5 points in the state of Colorado. So Connecticut, 5th district should be likely blue, but no pickups there for the Republicans. Delaware, this one's interesting because of this McBride individual. A little bit controversial, but still midterm year. I don't think Republicans are going to contest it much, and it shouldn't really be that easy of a flip for them. So we'll move on to the state of Florida, where Darren Soto, his district, it's getting redder. I still think he holds on. Anna Paulina Luna should win no problem. Jared Moskowitz could be in for a tough race depending on trends. I still think he holds on. And I think that covers all bases in the state of Florida. So Georgia, nothing there, nothing in Hawaii or Idaho. Illinois, there's one district. Eric Sorensen probably is going to end up winning there in the 17th. It's one of the most gerrymandered states for Democrats in the entire country. Indiana, I think the 1st district flips by the end of the decade, but I could see Frank Mervan holding on for now. in the 26 midterms and probably losing in 28. So we'll go on to Iowa, where I think Zach Nunn is going to end up winning. But the first district, I honestly am going to leave it blank because I think it depends on the primary. I think Marionette Miller-Meeks probably would lose. She's an underperformer and kind of a rhino. But if she's primaried out by a stronger challenger, they actually would be more electable and probably win. It is a Trump +9 district, so I do think that there's a potential for Republicans to hold it, obviously, but she might be their Achilles heel if she's the nominee. So Kansas's third, I think, will stay in the Democrat column. It's a blue district, blue trending district. Nothing in Kentucky or Louisiana. Maine, this will be a Republican flip. I think that the second district will see Jared Golden finally go down. You have Paul LePage running against him. Golden might face a primary challenger. I'm not saying he'd lose the primary, but it's definitely not a good thing when you have a primary to face and you're going to have to spend resources defending your own record. I think that's a flip to the Republican column. I think this is finally the cycle where polarization will have sunk Golden. So Maryland, the 6th district, I think will be in the likely blue column. I don't think Republicans are going to stand much of a chance there. Massachusetts, nothing there. Michigan, we have a few competitive districts. I think that Hillary Scholten is probably going to hold on. Bill Huizenga as well will have no problem winning. I think McDonald Rivette, she outperformed the top of the ticket by a lot. I think she does hold on, even though the district's moving right. I could see that flipping by, the end of the decade. And then the 10th district, John James, he is running for governor. I think Republicans will find a strong enough recruit to hold that seat, especially as James's coattails will help out. In that part of the district, it's red trending Macomb County. Tom Barrett, this is a district where there are enough ancestral Republicans to carry him in a midterm year. But, as of right now, I'd say Democrats, just because it is the Rust Belt, they perform well in midterm years. I think they would do well enough for Barrett to end up losing in the 7th district. But who knows? He probably could come back and win it in 28. So the 2nd district in Minnesota, likely blue, I think is fair for that district, if not even safe at the House level. Nothing in Mississippi. Missouri, the 2nd district. This one I probably would even put it as, likely to safe. Ann Wagner, her district is not as red as the other districts, but it's not really particularly competitive either in the state of Missouri. Montana, I think Ryan Zinke should have no problem winning in the 1st district there. The state of Nebraska, this is an interesting one. Don Bacon is always an overperformer. He won in 2018 when a lot of people said he would lose. He won in 2020, outrunning Trump by a lot. He did it again in 22, did it again in 24. He's kind of like the reverse of Jared Golden. Could he go down? I mean, it's possible, but I really think that in the midterm year, you could make the case that he would be able to effectively, play well enough to independents to narrowly hang on in Nebraska's 2nd district. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens. But as of right now, I think that he probably, you could make the case, starts off as a narrow favorite. And all 3 of these districts in Nevada have been moving to the right, and the dam is really breaking, the Hoover Dam per se, in the Vegas area. But still, it being a midterm year, even though I think Lombardo's going to win by upper single digits, I think that the Democrats are going to hold on. But could one of these flip? I think you could make the case all 3 could be in real serious trouble in 2028 when you have presidential turnout and polarization kicking in, etc. So New Hampshire, 2nd district is probably likely blue. 1st district, lean blue is fair. Pappas is retiring, but I haven't seen a strong enough Republican candidate announce. If there is one, maybe it could be more competitive. We'll see. We'll go on to New Jersey, where you look at the 5th district, Josh Gottheimer. He outran the top of the ticket by 10. I think he's going to hold on just fine. The 7th district, Tom Keene. This is an interesting one right here. I do believe that just because he's been so adamant to push for those SALT deductions and that helps out with New Jersey voters, I think that he's going to win. He has a lot more ancestral Republican appeal, and he outran Donald Trump. He's a strong candidate. But Nellie Pooh will hold on in the 9th district, and I think Herb Conaway will win by probably a likely margin there in that seat. So out of the gate, Republicans are actually in the lead. I tell people you got to look at the map. You got to go district by district, especially because that war chest for the Republicans, they're really building it up, and that's a problem for the Democrats. So New Mexico, I think the 2nd district could be in serious trouble for Democrats in the future. I think Gabe Vasquez is a decent fit for it, to the point where in a Trump midterm year, he'll hold on. I'm kind of anticipating the generic ballot to be a few points bluer, not anything ridiculous, but a few points bluer than it was in 2024, but not uniformly, because we talk about, propensity and different dynamics that play into that still will allow Republicans to select a few seats to really try to push for and can actually flip. And they could kind of just find a way to back themselves into a House majority, depending on their strategy. And in the 3rd district, I think that the Democrats will hold on despite it moving to the right, at least at the presidential level. So now we'll move on to New York. And you'll probably have a close governor's race, which is good for the top of the ticket effects, which is why seats like the 3rd and the 4th are possibly in play for flips for the Republicans, depending on which candidates they decide to run. But the 1st district, Nick Lallotta, he should win no problem, if not by more than 10. Tom Suozzi, I think he can play like the fake moderate card enough to win. I think Gillen possibly could lose, but as of right now, I'd say she starts as the favorite. Mike Lawler, he's running for re-election, it seems. Trump has endorsed him, but he also has enough independent appeal to the point where he would win that district. Pat Ryan, he should hold on. Josh Riley, it's going to be competitive, but I think that he will hold on. Elise Stefanik, I don't know why this seat is anything but safe. It's ridiculous they even have it in the competitive column. And the 22nd district probably likely blue there. So New York is now filled in. 209 for the Republicans, 202 for the Democrats. And I think that this is another Republican flip in the 1st district in North Carolina. Usually in a midterm year, you see lower black turnout, and that helps in the 1st district. And that's why you saw Ted Budd actually do better in that district in 22 than Trump did in 24. Republicans are going to be putting a lot of money into North Carolina, as will the Democrats. But I still believe that this is a district that, due to trends and the propensity dynamic, Don Davis could very well lose, depending on the Republican candidate. So Ohio, I think that the 1st district will be likely blue, and you will see some redistricting here in the 9th and the 13th. I think that you could make the case the captor's strong enough in a midterm year where the Democrats might do a little bit better at the top of the ticket than they did in 2024. She could hold on, but I think Amelia Sykes will fall short just because she's not as strong of a candidate, is less entrenched in the 13th, and the 13th is trending heavily to the right. So I think that Republicans can redistrict their way to a flip there. So nothing in Oklahoma. In Oregon, you have 3. All 3 of which should stay with the Democrats. We'll just go with the consensus ratings here because they're accurate. Pennsylvania, the 17th district, I think DeLuzio will win. That's a hold for the Democrats. I think that Dan Muser probably goes for governor. Scott Perry moves districts, and he is going to stay in Congress, but his seat probably, you could make the case it would flip blue. Then Rob Bresnahan, I think he will hold on. I think Brian Fitzpatrick, I think he will win no problem. Ryan McKenzie. Susan Wild's not running again. It's trending to the right. I think that if Republicans perform respectably at the top of the ticket and they don't lose by the margin they lost by in 2022, I think McKenzie holds on, in my opinion, which would be crucial for Republicans in their quest to retake the House. And nothing in these few states here. We go to Texas, where the 15th district, I think De La Cruz is going to hold on just fine. The 28th, I'm also going to leave blank because we don't even know if Cuellar is going to be the nominee. We don't know if he's going to be in jail. It's possible he could hold on, but still, trends are not favoring the Democrats here. Vicente Gonzalez might barely hang on one last time in the 34th, but that's pretty much about it in the state of Texas. So nothing in Utah or Vermont. Virginia, there's a few seats here. Rob Whitman should have no problem winning. Jen Kiggins, I think she's a good fit for her district as an overperformer. She'll hold on. Vindman, sadly, not a fan of the guy, but he will win on the Democrat side. And Suhas Subramanyam, or however you pronounce his name, is going to win in the 10th district there by a likely margin. So the state of Washington, you have the 3rd district and you have the 8th district. I think that both of these will stay blue, but the third could be interesting. Perez could face a primary challenge. It is true that she's overperformed, but there's kind of a question mark over, is she really a strong candidate, or was Joe Kent a weak candidate? I think she could lose, but as of right now, I think that it's a seat that probably narrowly stays with the Democrats. So then we go to Wisconsin, where Derek Van Orden, I think his district is going to be redrawn by the Democrats. I think they're going to draw him out successfully. Maybe the seat could flip back again, but he's just not a strong candidate. They don't even need to touch the map to beat him, in my opinion. And then in the 1st district, I think Brian Steele, even if it gets redrawn a bit bluer, he's a strong candidate. I do think he holds on depending on what the new map looks like. So either way, there's nothing out of Wyoming. So this is the House map, essentially. You have 218 seats for the Republicans. They would hold on. And you have 215 seats for the Democrats. So there are some question marks here for sure. We don't know about redistricting. We don't know about, certain nominees in certain seats. And this may not age well, but I do think it's going to age relatively well, because I don't think you're going to have that many competitive seats. If you have the Democrats going out there and flipping some of these, very, very light red seats, they're not going to have anything more than like a, 9-10 seat majority, which is just identical to the majority the Republicans had after 2022. And nobody was going to call that election a red wave. So how are people really going to call this election a blue wave? I think that even if they do well in the popular vote, they're not going to win the Senate. They're not going to win a sizable House majority. And in terms of the governor's map, there's really not a lot of room for them to grow. I do think they'll flip Virginia, and they can maybe hold Republicans off in a place like Arizona if they're lucky. I don't know if that's going to happen, but they're not taking Nevada, probably not Georgia. Like Iowa or Ohio are possibly their best bets. And I just don't see it. And they have to defend Michigan now because of the three-way race, so it's a disaster for them in the midterms. Doesn't mean that they can't retake the House, but not in this prediction. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.